Okay, I am going to do one of my favorite dishes. This is greens and garlic, and this time of year is perfect for greens. Now, this green, you may notice, is a little bit purple. I actually don't know what the name of it is. It's a curly kale. It's not red Russian kale. It has purple centers, and there's something very perfumey and flowery about the smell of this kale. I don't know what it is. I just love it. I'm also going to use some collards, which some of you may or may not use. And then I have another green here, which is an Asian green, something Gailan, or I don't remember the name. Doesn't matter if you remember the name, but it is a true green, and I'm going to use that. And so what I'm going to do with them is I just have them in small pieces, and I want to show you a really easy way to get it off the stem. I just pretty much rip it off the stem. I don't use those big, thick center stems because I don't find that they add anything to the dish. So I'm just going to kind of rip them off of there. Put those aside. I do not put them in my stock. I have heard that dogs like them. My dog does not, so I don't give them to him. But you can put them in your compost, definitely. But if you put them in your stock, it can make it a little bit stinky, and you may not want stinky stock. And this one actually is the easiest to pull off that center stem. Now, my sister likes the stems. I do not. So you don't find stems in my greens. And what I'm going to put in with this is I'm going to put in some garlic. And I'm going to use my little garlic twist here. Just put the garlic in, twist it around, and then my whole clove of garlic. My hands weren't wet, it'd probably be easier, but my whole clove of garlic gets minced, and it'll be ready to come out. I'm going to turn my pressure cooker on, and you can easily do this in a saute pan. But I'm going to do it in the pressure cooker. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil because it adds some flavor. And actually, I think it may help you absorb some of the vitamins that are in your greens. And I'm not going to add the garlic first. And the reason is I don't want that garlic to burn in there. I'm going to turn this around so it's a little easier for me to deal with. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these, now you may notice or you may not, they're wet. So I want them to be a little bit wet because they have a little bit of liquid in them. If I do it on top of the stove in a pan, I can monitor how much liquid is in there and I can add what I need. But in this case, I'm going to add a little bit of broth. I'm going to get my garlic out of the twist, put it into my pan. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of broth, and I mean just a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to grab the lid. I'm going to put it on. And this literally, once it comes up to pressure, will take about a minute. And I think you'll be pretty amazed when you see how green those greens turn out. Of course, if you like your greens a little more done, you can do it for 2 minutes. But I only do it for 1 minute. So the timer is just about to beep on my greens. It's been almost a minute. When it beeps, it will be a minute. Oh, there we go. And what I'm going to do is turn off the heat, quick release the pressure here. And you can see it built up a lot of pressure in just 1 minute. And so then I'm going to get the greens out. When I do get them out and put them on the plate, I can add a little salt, a little pepper. I can put on a little bit of balsamic vinegar, which is one of my favorites. I think right now, maybe just a little bit of seasoning on there. And so, it's ready to open. And here is the part I love. The free greens facial. Very, very good. Also, what you might or might not notice when you cook these is that you start out with a giant pile of greens and you end up with not that many. Now, I have to tell you the truth here. You wouldn't likely want to serve these greens on this plate because truly, they look puny. They're beautiful, but a much smaller plate will work much better. But anyway, here's the greens with garlic.
Peaches are all gone, by gosh, but soon we'll have kabocha squash. The winter greens are sweeter when it's cold. We keep our diet balanced because modern life's a challenge, but its many pleasures can't be oversold. And on market day in our hometown, we rise and shine and head on down, where the families and the farmers meet and thrive. Because we're taking nature's course, we get it fresh right from the source, where the bounty of the county comes alive. Where the bounty of the county comes alive.